In the Vovchansk waterway sector, the day turned into a nightmare for Russian troops. In the midst of a daring but high-risk attempt to breach the defense line by water, they instead walked into a deadly trap, precisely prepared by Ukrainian forces. Behind the scenes of the operation, operators from the Murchiky Unmanned Systems Battalion, part of the 57th Separate Motorized Infantry Brigade, were on high alert. With constant aerial surveillance and disciplined coordination, every enemy movement was monitored from the start. The river, which was supposed to be an infiltration route, turned into an open killing field. The footage begins at dawn, as the boats loaded with Russian troops slowly begin to move, attempting to capitalize on the elements of surprise and speed. However, Ukraine's technological superiority and preparedness derail the plan before it even begins. The first boat becomes the opening target, the FPV drone zooming in nearly undetected until the last second. Within seconds, the drone dives sharply, its speed increasing dramatically, and strikes the boat squarely in the center. The first explosion shattered the silence, destroying the boat and causing panic among the other units. On the second and third attacks, chaos began to spread as the next two boats attempted to maneuver, trying to avoid the attack that was now clearly inevitable. But the Murchiky operator had accurately locked onto the target, and a barrage of attacks struck, causing severe damage and throwing the troops on board. Now only two boats remained, one of which tried to turn back, while the other continued forward in desperation, a sign that the mission had failed. But the decision came too late, as the FPV drone struck again with precision, ensuring there was no escape. The crossing attempt was over, the last boat alone. Witnessing the end of a failed operation, there was no formation, no cover, only open water and the threat from the sky. Panicked and isolated, the last drone approached steadily, as if ensuring no mistakes in this final moment, its crosshair locked on the center of the target. In one swift movement, the drone dived and the fifth explosion marked the end of the entire crossing attempt. The waters were calm again, but now filled with the remains of destruction. None of the 5 boats reached their destination. Each crossing attempt was costly, with significant Russian losses. This operation underscored a point increasingly clear on the modern battlefield. The dominance of technology, particularly FPV drones, has drastically changed the dynamics of combat. For the Murchiky battalion, this was more than a tactical victory. It was a testament to the effectiveness of strategy, coordination, and technological superiority in the face of conventional attacks. On the Vovchansk waterway that day, no crossing was without a cost. And for the Russian forces, the price was utter destruction. The day will be remembered as a bitter reminder that every step on the battlefield is now watched from the skies. On the same day, the Achilles Brigade successfully targeted a key Russian MLRS used for area bombardment. Ukrainian forces continue to target high-impact Russian artillery systems, with the Achilles 429th Brigade reporting a successful strike against Russian BM-21 Grad multiple-launch rocket system on the Zaporizhia axis. BM-21 Grad system is a widely used Soviet-designed multiple-launch rocket system intended to deliver rapid, large-scale bombardments. Its primary mission is to strike rear fortifications, concentrations of troops, equipment, and other critical military targets. When deployed effectively, it can saturate wide areas with explosive force, making it a persistent threat to Ukrainian defensive positions and logistics hubs. Capable of firing a full salvo of 40 rockets in roughly 20 seconds, Grad system is designed for speed and shock effect. Depending on the type of munitions used, its range typically extends from 20 to 40 kilometers. This allows Russian forces to conduct strikes from relatively safe distances, often beyond the immediate reach of frontline units. Another key feature of the BM-21 is its mobility. Mounted on a truck chassis, the system can quickly deploy, fire, and relocate to avoid counter-battery fire. This shoot-and-scoot tactic has made such systems difficult to neutralize, requiring precise intelligence, surveillance, and rapid strike capabilities to intercept them before they change position. As previously reported, operators of the 414th Brigade eliminated a range of Russian assets, including air defense systems and armored vehicles, in a coordinated drone campaign. Currently, the unmanned systems forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine successfully targeted 2 Russian radar stations, a Tor surface-to-air missile system, and an anti-aircraft unit across occupied Crimea and the Donbass, the military reported on Saturday, April 4th. In the Crimean city of Feodosia, operators from the 414th Separate Brigade's Magyar's Birds unit struck a radar station belonging to the S-400 Triumph complex. This high-value target is capable of tracking up to 100 objects simultaneously at a range of 600 kilometers, 370 miles, and can guide up to 72 missiles. At the same time, it is a complex target because it can be deployed in 5 minutes and usually changes position before it is detected, the military stated. In the Donetsk region, the first separate unmanned systems center successfully hit a Tor missile system. Simultaneously, in the Luhansk region, Ukrainian drones disabled an SKPP radar station, a specialized unit used to detect UAVs at a range of 20 kilometers, leaving Russian drone interceptor teams blind. A Zu-23-2 anti-aircraft gun mounted on an MTLB armored vehicle was also destroyed in the Luhansk region. All operations were conducted in coordination with the Center for Deep Strikes. Earlier on Saturday, the State Security Service of Ukraine, SBU, and the Unmanned Systems Forces targeted the Alchevsk metallurgical plant for the second time this month, a Russian facility that supplies critical materials for the production of T-90M tanks. Ukrainian forces have also intensified their campaign deep inside Russian territory, with recent drone strikes hitting chemical plants in Tolyatti and the Bashneft Novoil refinery in Ufa, significantly disrupting logistics and production cycles for the Russian military-industrial complex. Now, Russia is losing amphibious capacity it has had since the late Soviet period and cannot replace at similar scale or speed. The Sevastopol Bay is turning into a zone of destruction for Russian amphibious forces. On the night of April 19th, a special unit of Ukraine's Defense Intelligence, HUR, the Ghosts, carried out strikes against 2 large Russian landing ships of the Black Sea Fleet. The targets were the Project 775 landing ship Yamal and the Project 1171 landing ship Nikolai Filchenkov. The first vessel, built in 1988, can transport up to 500 tons of cargo, including armored vehicles and troops. The second, built in 1975, has a cargo capacity of up to 1,000 tons and is used for large-scale amphibious operations. During the operation, Ukrainian intelligence also destroyed the Russian Podlot K-1 radar system and struck the Hvardiske fuel depot, significantly weakening air surveillance capabilities and logistical support for Russian forces.